Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a clip of a fat activist, Fierce Fat Femme, responding to allegations that fat acceptance is a cult. We're also going to be taking a look at a couple of bonus clips, including one that asks the question, why don't you want to be fat? Did you know that I have a Discord server? I'm always on there talking with the community and getting content suggestions from you guys and everything, so be sure to drop on by and say hi. Here's a link. Before we proceed, please click the like button so that I may apply comb to mustache.
I just have 1 minute between classes, so I just wanted to pop on for a quick moment to say
I can't think of a better use of my in-between class time than this. Go.
I'm not sure when the pendulum swung so hard again to this place where now we really intensely again hate fat people.
Yeah, for a minute there the pendulum had swung towards plus-sized love, but now unfortunately it's swung back towards the side of hatred towards larger people. What is this pendulum that you guys are always referencing? Is it in the room right now? Is it right here? Is this the pendulum? Is this it right here? Am I touching it right now? It's just such a bizarre-ass metaphor, right?
I mean, we've always hated fat people as a country and as a society.
We did? Speak for yourself, dude. I don't hate anybody. And when you say we've always hated fat people as a country and society, you're really including yourself in that quite a bit. I don't know why you hate fat people as a country and as a society.
But there's this really intense moment now where people are calling the fat acceptance movement a cult, which is such an interesting choice of rhetoric.
You mean like an interesting choice of words? Yeah, that really is an intense moment.
And in addition to that, I would like to say, as a fat liberationist, it is not a cult to be liberated from systems of oppression.
This isn't a cult. We are liberating you from systems of oppression. Yeah, cults often demonize the outside world to make the members more stuck in the cult. There's often like an evil enemy out there that we must all unite against. And none of these other people that are not in the cult see the truth of the world like we do.
Whether that oppression is coming from yourself, interpersonally.
How could you oppress yourself? This is real dumb.
Institutionally.
I stopped myself from getting that job that time. I was in charge of hiring, and I was also the person being hired, and I just couldn't bring myself to hire somebody like me, you know? It's unfortunate.
That is not a cult. To be liberated is not to be a cult.
To make up all these boogeymen that don't exist and say that you need to be liberated from them, and the only way to do so is through our group, it's very much like a cult.
And when we think that way, we are just showcasing how much institutionalized oppression has changed our thought processes.
Our thought processes.
How do you go about pronouncing it? Processes. Processes.
This pronunciation was provided by Julian Miguel. I might not be pronouncing that correctly, and I'll have a link to his video in the description. I say sometimes we change our thought processes to delude ourselves because it's easier than facing the truth. Any sort of movement that tells you that nothing in your own life is your own fault is very easy to fall for. As human beings, we are highly susceptible to somebody saying, hey, none of this is your fault, dude. Come join us. Alright, and that was also the end of that. Okay, so like I said, I disagree with what she said. It does share a lot of similarities to a cult. A lot of cults don't give their members enough food, so they're always in a state of semi-starvation, so they are easier to control. Doing the reverse would also make people easier to control too, right? Here's a big old giant plate of cookies, eat it until you can't move anymore, then you'll never leave our cult. Although this will be a very useless cult if at some point we are all immobile. What are we even gonna do? What even is this cult anymore, dude? We all just hang out in your living room now and eat. There's absolute authoritarianism without accountability. Fat scientific, bro. Zero tolerance for criticism or questions. When Fat Fab Feminist said that me and other YouTubers were attacking her when we were actually just disagreeing with her. Lack of meaningful financial disclosure around the budget. That one always cracks me up. I don't know if they're organized enough to have a budget yet. unreasonable fears about the outside world that often involve evil conspiracies and persecutions. Fat-phobic society. There are more warning signs to a cult. Those are just a few. Next.
This person says, I don't want to be fat because I have been before and it was uncomfortable. I am also so much healthier now, so why would I ruin that? In that last video, when I asked, why do you not want to be fat? It was to get you to think about the reasons behind not wanting to be fat.
Okay, and they answered your question. They said because it made them uncomfortable. Let's go back. They said, I don't want to be fat because I have been before and it was uncomfortable. I'm also so much healthier now, so why would I ruin that? So they literally answered your question. And then you're like, when I was asking you why you don't want to be fat, I meant, why don't you want to be fat? What? What is this?
It was uncomfortable. I am also so much healthier now, so why would I ruin that?
Okay, so you asked why they didn't want to be fat. They responded and said because they were uncomfortable and they're so much healthier now. Now you're acting confused after they answered your question.
In that last video, when I asked, why do you not want to be fat? It was to get you to think about the reasons behind not wanting to be fat.
It was uncomfortable and I'm so much healthier now, they said.
I'm not suggesting that everybody try to become fat because fat is better somehow.
Okay. I'm not sure what you're even talking about because they literally answered your question.
But one of the main things about fat phobia is that we assume fat people are unhealthy because of their fat.
So instead of properly responding to what that person said, you have reframed the entire question and now you're going on this other spiel. I didn't mean it like that when I asked it. A lot of people within this movement try to control the narrative. Instead of actually answering or responding to your question, they completely ignore it and go on this tirade out in right field about literally nothing. Okay, you did answer my question exactly about why you didn't like being fat, but the real issue at hand that we need to be focusing on is this other thing. Yeah, nice try. Nice try, dude. Stay focused.
But even if every single person on this planet ate the same foods, did the same exercise, we all lived the exact same lives, there would still be fat people and non-fat people.
Based on everybody's different height, sure. Not sure what the point of that statement is.
And there are some healthy habits that you can adopt that will probably make you lose weight.
Okay, so eating healthy and doing healthy habits makes you lose weight because why? Being obese is not healthy. Thank you for confirming.
So let's say, for example, that I don't want to drink soda because we know soda is not good for you. If I am previously a soda drinker and I give up drinking soda, there is a good chance that I will lose weight from that.
What are you talking about? Okay, so the food that we eat and the things that we drink do contribute to our weight gain. By the way, I'm getting crazy deja vu on this. I might have responded to this clip before. If so, I'm sorry.
But even if I did not lose any weight from cutting soda out, the cutting out of the soda is the healthy habit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have responded to this, but why? Why would cutting soda out be healthy? Are you implying that sugar is bad for you and therefore what we eat actually matters?
In all the videos that I've made about this in the past couple days, I was very clear to say intentional weight loss because that's what I mean when the intention is weight loss and not health.
Okay, well, you might be shocked to learn that the two are very much connected. You know how like every single doctor and medical professional has been saying that obesity is unhealthy for the past like 100 years or so? Yeah, they weren't joking.
But because of fat phobia, we conflate them to be one and the same thing, that being fat is bad health.
No, not because of fat phobia, but because of the numerous studies and mountains and piles of research that we have on this topic throughout the previous 100 or so years. If you went to Google right now and searched obesity is unhealthy, you would find a myriad of articles. Although you wouldn't think that somebody would need to read a bunch of articles if they have a lot of physical limitations in their own life, right? If you see that other people run up and down stairs without issue, but you do not, you shouldn't really need any studies, right?
Being thin is good health. And statistically, if you're going based on the mortality rate, people who are slightly overweight are actually the healthiest group.
That's nonsense. I think some of these studies might be based on the idea that overweight people are more likely to survive a heart attack. I submit it's because they are far more likely to have a heart attack in their younger age. People don't typically have heart attacks until they're older, like in their 60s or 70s, so they're far more likely to pass away from that than somebody that's having one when they're in their 20s or 30s because they're obese. One could argue that perhaps you wouldn't have a heart attack to begin with at such a young age if you weren't obese, but obviously you're more likely to survive it given that you're younger. You can go ahead and search that up yourself. I'm not making any concrete statements here.
Most of our research about fat and its effects on the body are not done well either.
Oh yeah? How would you do these tests, Professor?
All of these studies are also based on the BMI, which is also not accurate and has racist origins.
No. On both accounts. She wrapped up the video by casually throwing in a bunch of lies about the origin of the BMI. Classic. Like I said, I think I've responded to that clip in the past, and if so, I'm sorry. Once she started talking about soda, I started remembering, wait a minute. My apologies. Hopefully whatever I said in response to that clip this time was funnier than the first time. Next.
I've been following the body positive movement and the fat liberation movement and listening to those activists for over 10 years now.
Oh my God. You must have such a severe case of buyer's remorse. Oh my God. Even though it was free, it took your time, dude.
And one of the things that I really worked hard to do was separate weight from health and then separate food and exercise from weight.
Yeah, it seems like you've done various mental gymnastics to disconnect from the ownership of your own physique. You've done work to separate weight from health and then separate food and exercise from weight. Okay, so your weight does not contribute to your health, and the food that you eat does not contribute to what you weigh. What kind of crack are you smoking, and where can I get some? Because it's good, baby. It's real good. I know that it makes us feel better emotionally or whatever to pretend like nothing in our own life is our own fault, but it does have physical ramifications. You said you started tuning into this ideology 10 years ago. Where are you now? Only a couple of years ago, I decided to take control of my life, start exercise and eating right and all this stuff, and I can do so many things now that I could not do before, such as run for miles and miles and miles. So that's the progress that I've made in the movement that I have joined in just the past couple of years. So what kind of progress have you made over the past 10 years with the movement that you have joined?
And because I've done that, because I don't view exercise as a means to lose weight or be small, and I don't view food as a way to lose weight and be small, I've been able to move more and pursue fitness for fun. I've been able to...
I also think that working out and fitness is fun, and now that I've lost weight, I'm a hell of a lot more mobile, it's a lot more fun, and a lot easier. When I was larger trying to exercise, it was a lot more of a pain.
Buy foods that I can afford that are relatively nourishing, and I would not be able to do those things without having fat liberationists.
You wouldn't be able to buy foods that are relatively nourishing if it wasn't for fat liberationists. I would say that if you weren't listening to fat liberationists, the food that you would be buying would be a lot more nourishing, more than likely.
Body positive activists who I've been following and learning from for a decade.
Right, and like I said, what has it gotten you?
For me,
these
movements aren't about glamorizing obesity or glamorizing unhealthy living. They're about deconstructing the ideas and ideals we have and...
Was that her smoke detector that went off? Hold on.
Glamorizing unhealthy living.
Yes it was.
They're about deconstructing the ideas and ideals we have.
Deconstructing the ideas and the ideals. It's good to separate those two things and then deconstruct them both. This is very smart.
And recognizing that they come from an overarching system.
They do. They really do. Some people have nothing but excuses and they'll never accomplish anything. Other people, you cannot hold them back even if you tried. I recommend we all strive to be part of the latter group.
It's been about accessibility and visibility.
It's been about trying to make bigger seats and trying to get representation.
And it's been about feeling comfortable and free to pursue a life worth living without first pursuing thinness.
Okay, well, a lot of people find that when they take good care of their physical body, they are happy. It is not that they are pursuing thinness, it's that they are pursuing health. As mature adults, we know that sometimes we have to work hard and put off satisfaction until a later date, and we just have to be patient. We have to work hard at our job all week, and then we get paid at the end of the week. We have to delay gratification until the end. It's funny that you say that because I don't think you need to pursue thinness. I think people are pursuing obesity with the choices that they make every single day. If you didn't pursue anything and you just sat here, you would wither away. Unlike what fat activists believe, you would wither away if you stopped eating. You would not just keep getting larger. Next.
Being an influencer and a people pleaser is honestly the worst combination, because sometimes I get invited to events where brands will do my hair, do my makeup, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so cute. Then they'll want to take my picture. Obviously, I don't mind getting my photo taken. I'm gorgeous. Why would you not want to take my picture?
Okay, so what I'm getting from that statement is that you think that you're not gorgeous and you're insanely insecure. Just in case any of you were wondering, if you go around being like, I'm gorgeous, I'm so hot, to me it means that you think that you're not gorgeous and you think that you're not so hot. That's a very insecure display.
But this is no tea, no shade to
Her whole like is very contrived.
this brand, but if you're gonna invite a plus size influencer, make sure you have options for them to wear so that I'm not in a photo shoot wearing a literal green moo-moo. Like my hair is
yeah, they kind of did you dirty a little bit here. That's not the most flattering moo-moo or whatever we're calling that.
my makeup is slaying, and I'm wearing a tent.
You did go to model plus size clothes, so, and no, I'm not saying plus size people need to be in a tent because they're so, no, I'm not doing that. Maybe being obese isn't really conducive to good looking clothes in general because it's pretty far out of the norm for the human body.
Not be serious with this. And like the people were really nice.
That's not the worst thing I've ever seen in my damn life, right? It was a bit moo-moo-ish, especially from that other angle.
So I don't want to shade the brand or anything, but like,
Well, you are kind of trying to shame the brand right now. So you got a job as a model, modeling clothes, and now you're complaining about it. Got a job as a plus-size model, did not have to like do all the other stuff that models have to do as far as getting to whatever certain size by exercising and eating a very specific way. You didn't have to do any of that. Yet here you are, being a model and complaining about it. I can't imagine being a model that doesn't have to do any work like other models do and getting a gig and then complaining about the type of clothes they have you wearing. I hope nobody hires this person again. That's what happens when you give people who have done no work things for free. They say, give me more, which is why nobody should be given things for free. Good morning, world. What do you owe me today?
this was the one dress they had that fit me.
And that's their fault.
The only option that fit me. And there I was in a photo shoot in this green tent. It gets better. There's a whole video. There's a whole Imagine I was wearing a cute outfit. This would be the cutest video ever.
Okay, so you're crapping on the brand that paid you to model their clothing, and you're also crapping on the clothing itself that you were paid to model. Okay, I would imagine in the future you're not going to get too much more work, right? We hired you to model this cup, and you did. And then the next day you went on your TikTok and you're like, oh my god, this cup is so hideous. That brand that I work with was a bunch of morons. I can't believe they had me model this hideous cup. You were supposed to be trying to sell the cup. Do you understand what modeling is for? You're supposed to be trying to get people to buy the clothes, not hate the clothes and the company that paid you. This is the worst candle ever. This video is sponsored by the people that made this candle.
And now I just look at this and I'm dying of laughter because
I don't think they're dying of laughter seeing this. I would be very upset if I paid you and now you're crapping all over my brand and my clothes that I paid you to model. Remember when I told you guys about how being a spoiled brat will never make you happy? Because you feel like the entire world is owed to you, and then it's never enough. People that have had a hard life and have had to work their ass off their whole life have 1,000 times less complaints than people that have never done a goddamn thing in their lives. People that have been rescued from other people's basements where they were chained up and tortured for days and stuff have less complaints than people that are born to rich parents.
why am I wearing this? I look so cute though.
Okay, so that was crazy, and we are not going to renew your contract. Sorry. So what do you think of the clips that we just saw? Is fat acceptance a cult? Should we really think about the reasons that we don't want to be fat? And is it a good idea to disparage the brands that you just worked for? Leave a comment below. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.